Welcome back to the Waterboyz podcast. This is episode 11, and today we have a very special guest coming on the show, Lukas Cormier, the Charlottetown Islanders, who's been tearing it up this year in the Q. 53 points in 40 games for him. So
we'll get to him later on. Excited about that, but for right now, Tom Brady.
We called
it. We called it. We are basically the best sports broadcasters in the game. Not to get cocky, but we deserve it. We called it, folks. 3 weeks ago now? That Tom Brady.
2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know.
Yeah.
1 week.
Anyway,
we talked about it.
Tom Brady is coming back. We said it, and here we are. He's back. One guy on TikTok was eating spinach every day for 30 days or something until Tom Brady came out of retirement. I don't know how long it was, but I think that was a pretty funny challenge.
I don't know, man. He's gone for 2 months at most. And then he decides to come back. I saw a tweet, and it might be true. Ryan Clark tweeted out last night, Tom Brady's kids must be bad as hell because the one unretire after 2 months, there must be something wrong there.
Yeah. Well, I've made my comments about Tom Brady and his family values, and I'll abstain from this episode. But I will say this. I'm excited to see Tom Brady play until he's 75 years old. This is... He's probably at a new age.
It's probably going to be what it is. Like, he's probably going to play until he's 75. And
out there with the walker.
I'm joking, obviously. But he's probably... This might not even be his last season, if I'm being honest. He might play another 2.
Before he went to Tampa, everybody was saying, this is Tom Brady's last season. Then he goes to Tampa, and then everybody was like, okay, that's his last season. No, we're going to be saying it's the last season, like we've been saying it's the last Toy Story movie for years.
And I can't wait to see this season. I think I feel bad for Aaron Rodgers, who just got rid of Russell Wilson in the NFC, and Tom Brady had retired, and he decides to sign a big 4-year, $200 million deal just to hear Tom Brady's coming back.
Here a few days later, just Tom Brady just makes a big splash.
And over Instagram on the weekend, there was a video going around. Ronaldo actually Tom Brady had stopped by the Tottenham Spurs versus Man United game where Ronaldo scored a hat trick, and Tom
Brady's
Brady,
on the field with his boy.
And Ronaldo looks at him and says, "You finished?" And he goes, "I don't know."
Yeah, he probably had that tweet saved in his notes there. I'm coming back.
He just
copy and paste.
I'm not surprised. Like, I can't sit here and say,
no.
Oh, man, I didn't see this coming.
Me neither. But here's the question. Will he play at the same level he did last year? And I say no. I'd say we are on the downslope of Tom Brady.
So you're on Max, like he hit a cliff theory. But wait, what happened to Max's theory? It got proven wrong by a bunch of people. Oh, wait, actually only one person. Tom Brady himself, where he actually won two more Super Bowls after, Max started this cliff theory where he was going to fall off a cliff and become the worst quarterback in the league.
No, I don't say he's going to be the worst quarterback in the league, but he's obviously one of the greatest of all time, and we've seen him slowly decline. It's been from Tom Brady's on a football team, they're going to win the Super Bowl. Tom Brady's on a football team, they're going to go to deep playoffs. Tom Brady's on a football team now, I'm saying... They are playoff contenders for sure. But will they make it to an NFC championship? Will they make it to another Super Bowl?
Who over anyone would you take in Tom Brady in the clutch?
In the NFC? In the clutch?
In anyone.
Not right now. But it's a big question on who they're playing against.
Even AFC, who are you taking in the clutch over Tom?
Patty Holmes.
No.
Patty Holmes.
No. Tom Brady literally made him look like a child twice.
Yeah, Patty Holmes just got a little weight on his left hand, though, so he's going to be gunning.
AFC Championship and Super Bowl. So, I just want to throw that out there.
You're calling a Super Bowl for Tom Brady this year? Is that what you're saying, Justin?
Possibility. There's a possibility.
When you throw that S word here on this podcast, we've seen some upsets.
There's some chances that he might, because there's also a stat floating around where He loses in a playoff round, wins the Super Bowl next year. Loses a playoff game, wins the Super Bowl next year. This has been a trend for like 8 years now. And let me tell you, he just lost a playoff game. So is it a Super Bowl year? Maybe. Maybe.
It's going to be a Super Bowl appearance. Maybe. But I think Tom's got enough rings right now. I think
I don't know, man. He's going for number 8. This is the whole reason he came back. He wouldn't come back if he didn't think he had a chance at least to win an 8th ring and solidify, his record in the all-time books, because I don't think anyone's going to get 8.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, speaking of older GOATs, I don't want to say old because obviously we've seen older sign a contract in the last few weeks. But speaking of the GOATs, let's talk about a young GOAT. Auston Matthews in the NHL just gets suspended for 2 games for a cross-check.
It should have been more, in my opinion. He should have been suspended for 6 games, just like Brad Marchand was suspended for earlier this year for doing what he did.
Apples to oranges, buddy.
I understand, he probably doesn't have as big of a track record as Marchand, but what he did was pretty violent.
That was violent. And I was expecting 2 games. I was saying 3 before we recorded this.
Yeah, but...
Before the news was announced. You were saying 6, though, just the same as Brad Marchand. No, you gotta look at who's doing what. The what is a big one. That cross-check was filthy. But it was brought on. This kid, he's not that type of player that Marchand is.
You don't think Auston Matthews is hot-headed?
No, I haven't seen that out of him. As his career progresses, we might see him turn into
very vocal.
He's vocal.
Very vocal, and he's very quick to get hot-headed, it seems like, in the NHL.
Yeah.
Now, has he done a violent act like this before to this nature? I don't believe so. But did it deserve more than 2 games? I think so. Like, he literally ruined Dahlin's jaw. It looked like if you slow it down in slow-mo, his jaw gets absolutely destroyed in the video. Now, meanwhile, we have that, but also, the Leafs just lost to Buffalo for the second time in 2 or 3 weeks now.
Yeah. That's not a team they should be losing to.
Not a team they should be losing to, first of all. Not a team they should be getting spanked to either.
And
5-2.
Repeatedly.
Yeah. The first one was like 4-1, I think, like at the start of March. And here we are, sitting 2 weeks later and beating in the Heritage Classic. And they absolutely stunk it up yesterday.
We've seen it before. They just don't do as well on the defensive side of the puck as the offensive side. They have a great offense, the Leafs. But when it comes down to it, goaltending and defensive side, you don't have a solid brick wall to rely on. No, and we've seen teams sneak past. We've seen teams sneak past.
Maybe I should retract what I said about Edmonton needing Marc-Andre Fleury. Maybe the Leafs need Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah.
And maybe they do. Yeah. I think that's a valid option for them, but I think either or, like Marc-Andre Fleury's going at the trade deadline.
At the trade deadline?
Yeah.
Not in free agency?
No, he's going at the trade deadline.
Why do you say that?
Because he's going to get traded at the trade deadline. Like, someone needs a goalie more desperately than Chicago, because Chicago's not making the playoffs. They know this. They absolutely are in a rebuild right now. And why wouldn't you just trade him away and try and get assets for him to put into the draft and rebuild, instead of letting him walk in free agency and maybe retiring? And you could get something for him.
I'll tell you what's more secure right now is being selfish with Fleury, because he's doing good things at Chicago. And that's what they need.
But you look at the Leafs, they're going to pay whatever it takes. Or Edmonton. Edmonton's probably more desperate than what the Leafs are, but I don't know.
I'm saying squeeze the lemon a little bit longer, get some juice out of there, because he's still got some life in him, as we've seen this season. But
I do agree with that he has life in him. But I do think that he's going at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I can see him going at free agency when a lot of teams are on the golf course. But, man, I think he's staying in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's our next prediction. We'll follow up from there. We'll see you in the summer, I'd say.
No, you're going to see in about a week's time, March 21st, that Marc-Andre Fleury will be dealt. It's either going to be to the Leafs or Oilers. I'm calling it right now. I'll clip this, too. I'll even clip it. Don't even worry about it. I'm clipping it because...
Well, I'm going to make a TikTok account of you saying I'm going to clip that because you've made some hot takes here.
Well, I mean, I have to. Marc-Andre Fleury is obviously getting dealt before March 21st or March 21st on trade deadline day. He's going to the Leafs or Oilers. I'm calling it right now because both teams are in desperate need of goalies. They absolutely stunk it up these last couple of weeks, and they need it. They need it.
Fleury's going to be an asset just as much as he is now in the offseason. That is a big name in goaltending, and I think that number would not change from this week to a couple months from now.
I see.
But baseball is back, Justin.
Baseball is back.
I'm excited, folks.
They started spring training. My favorite team, the Toronto Blue Jays, looking pretty exciting this year to watch them.
Yeah.
I just saw the most recent first power rankings of the year come out by MLB, and they had the Blue Jays ranked 6th, making me feel good about my Jays this season, upcoming season.
It's early to tell, but I'd say you're justified in rooting for them, but...
I mean, come on now.
World Series contender for me, Chicago Cubs.
Okay. Alright. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just gotta give you a round of applause here.
Okay. Yeah, totally. No, in all seriousness, that I'm still upset about those trades. I'm not gonna get over that. As a lifelong Chicago fan, I'm pretty upset. I'm happy we dyed the river green last week, but frankly, this is just upsetting, folks. Just to see a team like this just struggle this much.
I mean, they're going to struggle for a little bit now. Yeah. They just got rid of it.
Go Yankees, folks. Big Blue all the way. I'm wearing pinstripes this year.
They basically just got rid of the whole team, so don't even worry about it. They're done for the next 5 years. Actually,
108 years?
Yeah, 108 years between last World Series titles, so you're probably waiting 100.
You've heard of the GOAT curse, now it's the Rizzo curse.
Anyway, my Blue Jays are going to destroy your Cubs this year, and one player in particular is going to do it single-handedly every single game this year, and it's going to be Vladdy. Vladdy's going to win MVP. He should have won it last year. He's going to win MVP this year, and that's what I'm calling here, folks. My second take of the day. Vladdy's going for MVP. That's my prediction before the year.
You're bold when the cameras are rolling because you don't think I'll hit you.
No. Vladdy's going for MVP.
Congratulations, Justin.
Vladdy's going for MVP. Now, that's a fact.
Basketball, we just had our first team to secure a playoff run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Phoenix Suns, they're 54-14. First team to clinch a playoff spot this year. So the question is, how far do you think they're going?
I think they're going deep. We talked about this earlier in the year, but yeah, they're playing pretty hot right now. And they got some stars.
How deep do you think they're going, though?
I'm going to say third round.
Third round? I'm gonna say they're going to the NBA Finals again.
The Finals?
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah. They're just too deep, man. I feel like that team is so strong, and it's not like in a term sense of every top team in the West is strong, but in terms of chemistry, I think Phoenix has the best chemistry.
Okay.
And I think that's going to put them over the edge. Chris Paul is a true leader on the floor for them. DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, this whole team is just unbelievable, top to bottom. And they got the best role players in the NBA, I feel like, on their team, on their bench. So they're a fun team to watch. They're absolutely electric every time I watch them. But I do expect them to make the NBA Finals.
Yeah, well, at some point the pasta's done cooking and you got to turn the stovetop off. You can only get so hot. Okay. And I don't think it's going to go to the finals again.
Okay.
That's a long time to carry a big name on your back, big target on your back.
That's true.
Yeah.
But we look forward to seeing what happens in the NBA and who's going to maybe clinch the next playoff spot. But we turn to our guest, Lukas Cormier, and the Charlottetown Islanders, and their most recent weekend where they played 3 games. And what happened?
I don't know. I'm not wearing black and gold, so I can't really tell you fully. But they played 2 close games against 2 good teams. They lost 2-1 in both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say it just came down to the third period. You play a good team, you play a hard team, you play a fast team, and that's what both teams were, especially on Friday and Saturday. I think they just saw that third period could use a little polishing, but overall they're still a good team, second in the CHL.
Well, when you look at it, I think Sunday was a big bounce back for them. They got a 6-4 win over, I honestly forget who, Shawinigan? I think. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on that, don't quote me on that, but it was a great bounce back win for them after, upsetting Friday and Saturday for a team that is ranked second in the CHL.
And that's what you need, though. A big win like that, that'll bring some heat back, and these boys won't forget how they felt after.
They're not really used to losing this year, so they're 31-9-5, and it just they show it every night on the ice. They're unbelievable to watch.
St. John Sea Dogs poke the bear, and we'll see if it comes out of hibernation and see how this Islanders team reacts. So we'll follow along with that, but for right now, we turn to Lukas Cormier. So joining us on episode 11 from the Charlottetown Islanders, Canadian World Juniors team, defensiveman drafted to the Las Vegas Golden Knights, Lukas Cormier from St. Marie, New Brunswick. Lukas, thanks for coming on, buddy.
No problem.
Yeah. Thank you. So first off, I want to start by this season. You got 53 points, 21 goals, 32 assists in 40 games, well above a point per game as a defenseman in the queue. What has been the success story for you this year?
Well, I think just over the years, being in the league is my 4th year, so just having the confidence of every year, just a little bit more confidence, and it helps that we have a good team this year too. The power play has been doing pretty good, and the team's doing well too, so it always helps for the personal points.
So, you're a defenseman, right?
Yeah.
And in a junior A, it's pretty high scoring compared to some other leagues around here. So, who do you look towards playing defensively? Who's really fun to really come up the ice against and really put the puck in the back of the net as a defenseman?
Well, it's always fun to play against top end teams, so just to see how we match against them. This past weekend, St. John, Bathurst, those teams that we most likely see in playoffs, or hopefully if we get a long run, teams that we will play down the road. So it was fun to see how we match up against them and just play tighter games.
Yeah. So taking it back to the beginning of your career, let's put it back to BAM. You're playing for the Flyers there in Moncton, and you had a good start there. When did it really become clear to you that Major Junior was a possibility for you?
Well, I think it's been a dream since I'm pretty young to play Major Junior, and I think from when I was really young, I was thinking about it a little bit, but I think midget is probably when it came with the draft happening and stuff. You start to see your name on some lists, and you just start to feel like it's gonna happen for sure.
Yeah. So getting drafted, how did that feel?
That was pretty special. It was a great day in Shawinigan. I had a bunch of family there, and the whole setup too. They had the stage and stuff, and it was really cool to experience that day.
Yeah, you were the highest overall pick by the Islanders. How cool experience was that to be selected that high by such a good organization?
Yeah, well, at the time I didn't know too much about Charlottetown, so it was I knew it wasn't too far from home, so it was I was really happy for where I ended up in the draft, and I was just looking forward to meet everyone in Charlottetown, and Charlottetown's been nothing but good to me since then.
When did you realize that you could just start dominating this Q league in a way? You're dominating.
I think it just kind of happens on itself. I'm just trying to work my hardest every night to help the team win, and that's the main goal.
Mm-hmm.
So you cross a little bridge to little old PEI, and you walk into the dressing room for the Islanders. What was your focus coming into Islanders?
Well, like I've said, just try to help the team win. Well, my first year, I was just trying to make the team and try to fit in right away and start producing. So I think the transition was made pretty easy. I think it was a pretty good transition, and was the guys were good to me for that transition. I played with Pio in my first half, so that was helpful for sure. And yeah, it was just since then Charlottetown's been nothing but good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you have any troubles with that transition at all? I know you said it was pretty easy, but were there any hardships?
Yeah, for sure. Like there's always like the game's a lot faster, guys are a lot stronger, and like just moving away from home for the first time, it could have been a lot worse for me. It was only 2 hours, so my parents were still here a lot with every home game basically. They were here, and when we play everywhere in the Maritimes really, so it wasn't too bad for that part.
Yeah, speaking of that, you actually come from a hockey family. Your sister plays at Princeton, correct?
Yeah, she does.
Nice. Yeah. Are you excited for her?
Yeah, for sure. I'm always trying to look like what's going on with her, and if I have chance, like watch a little bit of those games and stuff. It's always fun to keep track.
Mm-hmm. So this year, I want to know this is your first league where you get a taste of players coming and going. Now, is it hard to get a locker room together when you have players constantly going and on trade deadlines and everything like that?
It's always a lot of unexpected, but we've been lucky since I've been here to have pretty good team chemistry. I'd say for all those 4 years, it was this year especially. I think we have one of the tighter group that we've had in a while, so it's always fun to just hang out with the boys.
Yeah, you guys are 31, 9, and 5 right now. You guys are, well, technically 1 point back of Sherbrooke, I think, for the league, but you guys have 3 games in hand. What's been the most biggest key for you guys this year, you think?
Well, I think just playing the way we're supposed to play, and just focusing on the system, just playing hard, and being hard to play against really, and thinking about defense before offense, and the offense will come after.
You guys really have a bunch of third year, fourth year type players on your team. Is that something that helps a lot in this league, having older, experienced guys that can help out on the blue line and forwards?
Yeah, for sure. We have a good team. We're trying to go for the cup this year, so it's always nice to have a lot of older guys at the deadline. We acquired a couple more 19-year-olds, so it's always good to have that extra experience when games get tight.
Mm-hmm.
So, most notably, you've lost a little bit over the years on defense, P.O. Joseph. So how have you stepped up into that role to fill those skates?
Yeah, well, I played with him, like I said, in my first year. He was my D partner when I was 16, and then he got traded away at Christmas, so I only played with him a half a season, but he was a great role model for me and for everyone as well. He was a great guy in the locker room, so that year we for sure missed him, but after that, now he's moved on, and he's up and down kind of in the NHL and AHL right now, so still in contact a little bit with him, but it's always good to see him have success.
And who's taken that role over in the locker room this year?
Well, it's been 3 or 4 years now that he's left, so
yeah.
Our captain right now is Budgel. He's been captain for 2 years, I think, 2 or 3, and he's been a great leader ever since I've been there, so he's done a good job of doing that.
Now, you guys made a trade in the offseason for Xavier Simeon. How big of an addition was that for you guys?
Yeah, that was huge. He's a all-rager in the league, a 20-year-old, and he's drafted in Montreal too. Probably, I'd say probably one of the best players in the league, if not the best player, to put up points and stuff. So it's always fun to be on the ice with him, and in the locker room too. He's just a great character guy. Everyone loves him in the locker room, so it's fun.
Is he funny?
Yeah, he is a funny guy.
Yeah, cracking some jokes in there.
Yeah.
Do you get along with him well? Playing what I would say a similar style of game on the ice?
Yeah, for sure. We're pretty good friends, and like I said, the whole team pretty much is pretty close. So it's always fun to go to the rink.
Yeah, you actually dressed up as a Smurf with him for Halloween, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was fun. I don't know who came up with the idea, but we just decided to go all blue and dress up as Smurfs.
How long to get that paint off, buddy?
Not too long. It was just a quick shower. And
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to this season. Like I said, you guys are ranked second. Well, last week's ranking, you were ranked second in Canada, right behind the Edmonton Oil Kings. So what are the expectations for you guys this year? Is it Mem Cup or bust for you?
Well, I think that's the goal for sure, is to win the President Cups first, and then if we're able to do that, hopefully win the Memorial Cup too. But it's always like when you get to the end, it's a bunch of good teams, so we'll have to work hard and just stick to the process. But I think we have a pretty good chance of reaching our goal.
Yeah, so you're sitting in the film room, and obviously that's the goal, and you take it one game at a time. But what's been the recurring thing in the film room for you guys to keep working on?
Well, it's always a little different. I mean, we just like doing video on the game before, and just whatever didn't go as well the game before, try to improve on it for the next game.
Yeah, so you pick out the mistakes real well, is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and fix them.
So when did it become that you could see the ice a lot better than any other hockey player and could make smart decisions than any other hockey player, or smarter decisions?
Well, I think just came from watching a lot of hockey. I'd say just growing up, always watching hockey on the TV and just loving the game is probably a big reason just to have that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And who'd you look up to when you were watching hockey those days?
Well, when I was younger, I was a Penguins fan when I was growing up, so I watched a lot of like Chris Letang, and those years that they won the cup, it was always fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. And now, as an offensive defenseman, about to probably go into the league next year, who do you look to for your game and to replicate your game after?
Well, the guy I like to watch, I think, has a pretty similar game than me is Spurgeon on Minnesota, and they're on a good run too. They have a good team this year, and it's fun to watch him. And obviously, guys like Makar, special just to watch him what he can do with the puck, and Quinn Hughes and guys like that. It's always fun to learn from them.
Yeah. So I want to go right into this. 2020, you were drafted 68th overall, third round to Vegas Golden Knights. What was the draft like for you, and can you take it through for us?
Yeah, it was. The draft was just online that year, so I was. We were already in the season. It was like 6 games in, and it was on a weekday, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I'd say, and we just had practice. I got to go home back in St. Mary with the family, and I had a lot of family there, and just I had the camera in my living room, so everyone was just waiting for the pick, and then when it got announced, it was just everyone started yelling. Just a moment I'll never forget, and it was a lot of joy for sure.
Yeah. So you were drafted 68th. Were you expecting to go around there, or were you expecting to go a little bit higher? And what did your agent tell you? Did any other teams have any interest in you at the time?
Yeah, well, I knew I talked to pretty much every team, so I really had no idea where I was gonna go, and it's always tough to tell. You have a lot of different interviews with a bunch of different teams, so it's I was just waiting to hear my name, and then I was extremely happy when I heard Las Vegas call my name.
Yeah. So you get that phone call and you hear someone's voice from Vegas. What's your first emotion? What's going through your heart?
Yeah, well, we had I actually saw it on the TV first, because it was we were live probably 2 minutes in front of the actual TV, so we had the computer set up in front, and we had the TV behind it. So we had to look on the computer for the picks, because they were coming in a minute or two before. So then when we actually saw it on the TV, we already knew it's been a minute. Then the phones started just pick up, and guys from Vegas were calling, and then obviously a bunch of family and friends were just texting, calling, and the phone was just going crazy for a bit.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you probably had to take it on silent for the rest of the night, eh?
Yeah. I answered the most important ones, I guess, the closer family members and stuff, and then just went little by little.
Yeah.
So, have you spoken to anyone at Vegas, players that you're excited to play with here in camp coming up?
Yeah, well, I was at camp last year, so that was my first training camp, so I got to meet a lot of people there, and it was a lot of great people, and it was fun to practice with them, and I got to play a game too, so just to see how those guys do stuff before the game, and just what they do around the ice is fun to see.
And was that development camp or training camp?
That was training camp, so it was the rookie camp really, and then then we stayed for like the main camp for a bit, and I played one exhibition game or the first exhibition game of the team.
And who'd you play with there that stuck out to you?
Well, it was like in the main camp there was pretty much like 2 full like teams.
Mm-hmm.
So like basically one of the teams played in that game. Theodore was playing Stone, Pacioretty, like Stevenson, a couple of guys from the team. So it was cool to play with those guys for a game.
Mm-hmm. So bring us to it. You got Vegas's decor is very good right now. So next year going into camp, what do you have to do to make the team, do you think?
Yeah, well, I think just trying to play my game, show what I can do, and I think be efficient on the defensive side too, not just think too much about offense, and the offense comes after defending. So I think I don't put too much pressure on myself. I'm just trying to do the best I can, and whatever happens, and hopefully in the near future I get to make the jump.
Yeah, but just any players when you were at camp that you just had to take a moment and be like, holy shit, I'm actually getting to play with this guy right now?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, a little bit of everyone. Like those guys that I named already, like Stone, Pacioretty, and just a couple of those guys. Like you see them, like just skate around you, and like just like at the start, it's just like, geez, like it's really happening. But like after a while, it just kind of gets like not normal, but like you just kind of get used to it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just kind of, I don't know, take the edge off of it somewhat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I take it you're working with a trainer or coach or something. Who are you working with?
You know, there's a development coach for guys like in junior and stuff. His name's Will Nickel. So he's always he comes to the game once in a while, and I talk to him probably once every 2 weeks or so, just to like little improvements and stuff like that, and just to see how he's going basically.
Mm-hmm. So for you guys for next year, you're going into development camp, I'm guessing, first, and then if you make it past that, you're going to main camp, which I'm sure you are going to, because like I said, you're just incredible on the ice. But is like players like Alex Pietrangelo kind of intimidating to you in a way, just because like someone that's been in the league for like 10 plus years compared to someone that's just trying to break into the league? Or do you look for him to be like a leader to you?
Yeah, well, like a little bit of both. It's for sure a little bit intimidating when you get in the room and see those guys, but at the same time, like all of them, like from my experience from last year, it's just they're all just nothing but nice to you and try to make you feel welcome, and just basically try to make you feel like you're at home.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to talk about COVID a little bit, just to go off topic here. Last season, you guys had to stay at the Delta Hotel for a majority of your season, didn't you?
No, we were at our billets, but we're like kind of social distance. Well, we only had billets and rank, so we had practice, and then we had to come straight back home to the billets, and kind of like social distance a bit there too. So it was tough for sure to like go through that, but we made it work, and it was all we still had a lot of fun last year. Kind of got the team a little bit closer together because we were just always with each other. We couldn't do anything else other than just be with the team. So it was good for part of it, but it was tough for sure.
Did it kind of make like I know with brothers, like you always like had that play fight, or not play fight, I guess it's like a real fight. Like was there ever moments like that you actually had to, or like you guys fought just a little bit, like brotherly fight or anything in the locker room like that?
I mean, I'm sure living that close to each other.
Not really. Like there's always like every year there's like little things that happen. It can't go smoothly all the time, but like nothing really. Like there's no big fight that happened or anything that that stood out. No.
Yeah. I bet the bus rides were pretty fun though, eh?
Yeah, it was a lot of cars and stuff like that going on in the bus ride. So.
Mm-hmm. Is there any fun moments or stories that you remember from the bus rides?
Not really. Lately, it's just been a lot of playing blackjack and stuff like that. So just having fun with
Does
everyone.
anyone go to the casino here, or anyone big gambler on the team?
Yeah. So sometimes.
Sometimes yourself.
How are you with cards?
I like it. I like to play on the bus with the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's the best on the team?
If we're talking poker, I think Brett Buzzell is a pretty good poker player. Well, we've been playing quite a bit, so everyone's getting a little better.
Does it come down to his bluffing or his luck?
Well, I think he's just been playing for a long time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he just knows the game a little more than all of us.
Yeah, he's just got you on experience. Eh?
Yeah, what about blackjack? I know they have that at the Charlottetown Casino, so do you go there much and play there? Or
We went a couple times, not too often, but
you win or you down?
yeah, sometimes up and down.
Yeah. Get the parents back home to send you a couple grocery bills.
Yeah.
But this year, you actually made the World Junior team. You went there. You basically played 2 games, or 2 like actual tournament games, and then it gets canceled. Initial reaction.
Yeah, we were really upset that we couldn't continue the tournament. Of course, it was fun for the 2 games that lasted, and just an experience that I'll never forget too. It was just playing with all those guys and having just to see all the support that we were having from all around Canada. It was fun to see.
Yeah, you get to play for your home country. You know, what pride goes into that?
Yeah, well, a lot. Like just growing up at Christmas time was always with the family. We're watching the World Juniors. Like always dreaming of just playing on that team, and to have that dream come reality was pretty special. And well, to put that jersey on is always an honor for sure. And yeah, it was fun to get on the ice for the first time, and just to see everyone, like all the support that I was having from home and from everywhere else in Canada.
Mm-hmm. Now, like I said, it did get canceled. So, were you guys in shock? Like, were you expecting it to get canceled? Were you expecting them to push through it? Or what was your guys' thoughts when it first happened?
Well, like we saw that some teams, I think the U.S. was the first team that had a case, so we saw that it wasn't like going smoothly. So we're like, I really never really thought that it was gonna get canceled. And before the game against Germany, I think we just came back from morning skate, and we were on the bus and we saw like 2 other teams had it. So we're like this can't be good. Like just wondering what's gonna happen next, and we're just about to go to bed for our pregame nap, and we got a text on the group chat saying like everyone go downstairs. So we're probably like not playing tonight if they're waking us up from our pregame nap. But like we just thought like maybe this game's canceled and like not the whole tournament. So we get to the ballroom downstairs, and you just take all our phones so we don't like I guess maybe spread any rumors. I don't know why they did that really, but and then we waited for like probably 15-20 minutes, and they were just like not telling us anything. It was probably just like, I think conference was like going on to like make the actual decision, and then they came in the room and just told us like, yeah, it's canceled, like hopefully we make it back in the summer. But like, and then everyone was just really disappointed of that.
Was anyone like pissed off that like they had done that to you guys? Because I know a lot of people were like pretty devastated that they just decided to outright cancel the tournament instead of trying to push through it.
Yeah, it was disappointing for sure. I think all of us in the room were like kind of in shock that it like kind of ended that early, because we all of our games went through, so we thought maybe just was like that game that would have been canceled or something.
Mm-hmm.
Then when they canceled the whole thing, it was upsetting for sure.
So I gotta go back a quick second here. You just mentioned something that intrigued me very much. Pre-game nap. Is this something that you do every game?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not a guy that's like too like superstitious or anything, but like I just like to have routines, and like, well, usually games are at like 7, so there's usually a pre-game nap that's like around 2 or 3 o'clock there, but not every time. Like if the game's at 3 or something.
Was that
like
a Team Canada thing, or is that just every?
Just every game, I think. Pretty much. I wouldn't say every player. A lot of people don't like taking naps before the game, but a lot of people do. It just
does it help clear your mind?
A little bit. I think it's just I'm not really sure why we do it. It's just
kinda chill to like get your head on right.
Yeah, you kind of have a lot of like free time. You're not doing really anything else on game day, so like it's just like kind of like a routine. Like morning skate, you get home, get a sandwich, or maybe stop at Pita Pit or something on the way home. Just get a quick lunch, and then you just have the nap after that, and then you wake up and pre-game meal, and it's just kind of a routine for every game day.
Shout out to Pita Pit. Hey, is that your next endorsement?
I don't know. Actually, I don't go there too often. I just said a random name.
Yeah. So, is there a player on the Islanders that is pretty superstitious? You know, just like, oh, don't touch Xavier's stuff, or oh, don't touch Lucas's, right skate or anything.
Yeah, there's for sure people that are superstitious, but no one that's like really like stands out. Like there's no big ones like that. I don't think there's anyone you can't really touch their stick and stuff like that. Like it's not too severe, I don't think.
Yeah. Is there a player you've ever played with that kind of sticks out? Or like a superstition that kind of sticks out?
Not that I think about over my head, no.
Yeah, it's not as ripe in hockey as it used to be, kind of.
Yeah.
So playing at the World Juniors this year, you got to play with some unbelievable players across Canada. Who really stood out to you at that tournament?
Well, I think everyone kind of saw like what Bedard did. He was 3 years younger than everyone in the tournament, and just doing what he was able to do was pretty impressive. And yeah, it was just it was kind of crazy to watch that happen, just to see what he can do. Like I was thinking when I was 16, like just being in the queue with like all those older guys, I couldn't imagine being like on the world stage.
Yeah.
Getting full goal games and stuff like that.
So
That's pretty cool.
I want to know about that 4-goal game. He had 4 goals. Were you guys like rooting for him to tie the record at 5, like on the bench? Were you guys just?
Yeah, well, we didn't actually know like what the record was or anything, but just like being on the bench and like the crowd was like I just remember at the end of the game, there was like 30 seconds left and we're up like that was the game that was like 11-2 or something.
Yeah.
And he like picks up the puck with like 30 seconds left and the crowd just like started like cheering and like passes it and like he goes quiet and he gets it again and the crowd just starts cheering again. Like it's just like the game's like out of hand and just like 30 seconds left and everyone just wanted him to get another one. So,
Yeah. So when he potted the third, was anyone expecting him to heat up for another? Or?
Well, I think at that point you kind of just expect it. Every time he touched the puck, something happens. So he's a remarkable player for sure.
So is that the best player you think you've ever played with?
Yeah, well, like just on that team, I think there's a lot of them. Like, obviously for his age, he's an incredible player. But like a lot of guys on that team are fun to play with too, and fun to just watch.
Yeah, not just from the Canada team, but you got the whole world there, and these guys are most likely your future competition when you if you sign that white line. So who stood out outside of Canada for you at the juniors?
Well, we only played 2 games really, or 3 against like the Austria team and then Czech and Russia. So, but on the Russian team, there's another like young guy, Mishkov. That Mishkov kid was just to be that young to play in the tournament and to have that kind of impact is cool to see what these guys can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in Canada, obviously, there's a language. We're bilingual here, but what's it like with the language barrier playing against some Czech player?
A lot of Czech players like end up playing in the queue and stuff. Like on that team, I wouldn't say a lot, but like there's a few, and those guys know English, and I don't really know about the other guys. Like you're playing against them, you're not really talking that much. It doesn't really
chirps didn't really
chirping
change
on
it.
the ice, like if you're gonna chirp someone like from a different country, like is it like, oh shit, well he can't speak back to me because he doesn't understand what he's saying. What I'm
just
saying.
like, what does this pun mean in Czech?
English is probably the language that everyone like kind of understands a little bit, so you gotta go with English.
Yeah, I would hope a little bit. But.
And of course you get to watch the other games too, right? I mean, it wasn't just 2 games for you guys. It was, the start of a pretty looked at tournament and hoped for. So
yeah, I want to go this August. If they're planning to, I know it was originally supposed to be in Russia. That obviously has been canceled. But if they end up getting it together and hosting an event for August, and they ask you to come back, do you plan on going back this summer and representing Canada again?
Yeah, for sure. If I can have that opportunity, you take it all the time. It's always fun to represent the country, but we don't have any more news than what the public has. Like we just saw the same thing as everyone saw on social media, so we don't have any more news on that part.
Would they take the same team that was at the World Juniors there in December?
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff like we don't like really know. Like it's just all up in the air. Like we haven't been told anything, so it's we're not really sure.
So let's go back to the season here. Got Memorial Cup on the line, and it would be the Islanders' first win in it. So if you had to pick one thing to really, say this is what we need to do to win this thing? What is it?
Play our game. I know it sounds like cliche a little bit, but I think if we play our game and just the hard to play against kind of mentality, I think we can make damage.
Yeah. And could you speak a little bit on coaching this year? How's that been for you?
Yeah, well, Jim's obviously one of the best coaches in the league, if not in the whole CHL. I think it's the only coach I've had since I've been in Charlottetown. So he's been nothing but good to me and to the team since I've been here, and always trying to make those little improvements and trying to make sure everyone's at their best every time, all the time. So it's fun to play for those coaches. Even the assistant coach Guy and Hendo are really everyone respects the coaches in our room, and we always listen when we have something to say. So it's good.
So you have a chance to move on to the show here, and eligibility, you still got some years left here. So how long can we expect you at Charlottetown?
Well, technically I could still play as a 20-year-old next year, but when you're 20 you can play in the AHL as well. So this is probably going to be my last year of junior if everything goes as planned, and hopefully we can make a run for it and go win it all this year.
Yeah, be a good last season for you.
Yeah.
Proper send-off would be winning the Mem Cup for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So one last thing before we go here. You played hockey basically since you were little. Is there any moments throughout your career so far that stand out to you more than others, or just in general?
Oh, I don't think there's one in particular. There's a lot of special moments, a couple that we talked about, like the draft, like the NHL draft and the Q draft were both the experience that I won't forget, and the World Juniors, just those making that team, and those 2 days or 2 games were really special. And
basically what it was 2 days.
No, it was a little bit longer than that, but just a lot of things. Even in midget, winning the Atlantics to go to Telus Cup, that was pretty special to have that with the team. And there's a lot of moments, not one in particular that I can think of.
One thing I'm seeing as a common denominator here is you're always part of a winning team. It seems that way. You seem like you bring winning passion to a team. So we congratulate you on what you've done so far for bringing people out to the city of Charlottetown, bringing more people to Islanders games. I know it's been more popular in these last few years. You're tearing it up in the Q. We hope to see you maybe take over the D scoring league in the Q. I don't know if you can do that, but hopefully you can. And we wish you luck on the rest of the season, and hope you win the President's Cup, and hope you win the Mem Cup.
Yeah, you gotta have a horseshoe tat or something, eh? Some lucky guy. Well, thank you for coming on the show, and we wish you the best.
Thank you, guys.
If for anyone watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, and anyone listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, don't forget to like and follow along. Grant, send them off.
Cue the music.